I'm assuming that most people know what Rogue Tower is. If not, don't worry, it's a very simple premise. It's a tower defense game, so we're trying to defeat waves of increasingly difficult enemies who are trying to reach our tower and destroy it. The meta progression is you gain experience points as you play, and with that you can unlock all sorts of goodies. Blue cards, of which we've only unlocked a couple of them, are passive permanent upgrades. The yellow cards, which we've unlocked some, all of these were unlocked by default, and quite a few of these too, but we've fleshed them out a little bit more. These are weapon cards, or in some cases, upgrades to weapons. So this one gives us a ballista. We started with that. We started with mortar. We started with Tesla coil. But these are upgrades to them. And as you play, every so many waves, you'll get given a choice of cards. We've actually upgraded the number of cards that we get offered as a choice. And from that, you kind of build your deck of playable towers and upgrades that you can use. Hey, Belial, welcome back. It was ridiculously fun, Belial. I had so much fun with Dread Hunger, and I can confirm that after the stream tonight, or this morning, by the time I finish, I may be up to play some with the Dapplings, depending on who's about and how many of you have managed to pick up the game. Stupidly fun. Really had enjoyed it, and again, the kind of social deduction sort of game, not usually my preferred cup of tea, but wow, did I gel with that. And yes, it was probably the cannibalism, let's be honest. Right, so as far as weapons, I have in typical me fashion, just gone straight for one of the big boys. I unlocked the radar, which gives us biplanes, which perform airstrikes from afar. There's the obelisk, the particle cannon, the lookout tower, the encampment, the shredder, the poison sprayer, flamethrower, and frost keep. All of these things are glorious, and we are going to need all of them in order to win. I believe the maximum round is 45 waves. Yeah, if you're into tower defense games, then this massive skill tree is going to excite you so much, because typically that trickle of happiness you get as you gradually make meta progress, that's bread and butter of tower defense games, and this has a lot of bread and butter. We've not really done too much down here, but I have made it so that setting people on fire, poisoning them, or making them bleed is a little bit more effective. Okay, let's head back to the main menu, and let's just jump into it. Before I begin, though, a couple of you, let me just know in chat, again, show of hands up, just a wave emote, or something equivalent. Have you seen this game before at all? And we will, depending on how many people, well, actually, you know what, that was a silly way of doing this run. Let's do it the other way around. Okay, so show of hands if you haven't seen it at all. That way I know how slow to go with it. If a load of people have seen it, then we'll move, nice and fast through the waves. But if not, then I will explain my choices a little bit more. I'm not confused. I know it's awful of me, isn't it, Rock Hopper Penguin? I'm such a scallywag. I could put up a poll, but I won't. That's it. Okay, there's a decent amount of people who haven't seen it, so we'll play slowly then. Currently, my record in single defense is level 19, which was set, I think, on the first, my actual first taste video, and then again in my extended first taste video. We were actually doing rather well. But let's go ahead and we'll go with single defense, just so that we can take it nice and slow. And everyone can enjoy. There will be merriment in the streets. Yeah. Okay, pretty simple land here. Nothing much going on right now. Yeah, we haven't got much, no map elements yet. So, going to open up with my customary 2 towers. We're going to go with this ballista, which will choose to hit least health. Let's go with you, and then it doesn't really matter. This one will go for least armor, least shield, least health. Actually, no, fastest. There we go. Now, the way that the target priority works, this is not an order. So it won't look for all of the people with the least armor, then of those, all of them on the least shield, then of those, the fastest. This is actually multiplicative. Or in this case, it divides. So it'll divide all potential targets. Their armor and their shields will be divided. I'm not sure exactly how. Probably their speed will be divided or something along those lines. And then from that, it will decide who to attack. And speaking of potential targets for my ballista tower, hello raiders. It seems that there's a bit of a war going on, my lord. Also, apparently this game scrolls when I'm scrolling chat. Well, you're just going to have to live with it. Look at that beautiful number 5 there. That is a top tier number 5. And now you can't see a bloody thing. Hello, Splat. Hello, Raiders. How are you all doing? What was Splat playing? You were playing some Vampire Survivors. I am not at all surprised. Such a bloody good game, that one. All right. Splat, what is your favorite build so far? Or perhaps what I should say is, which is your favorite evolved weapon? And from this, you will be judged. And while Splat is trying to decide what their favorite weapon is, please, everyone, do click on that link in chat. Splat is a fantastic content creator and a good friend of the channel. You are doing yourself an enormous disservice if you're not already following them. They are a diamond amongst content creators. You absolutely should follow them. And by that, I mean they're a lump of coal that is being compressed under enormous pressure for a very, very long time. Garlic, Bible, Lightning Rod, Evolved Bird. See, I haven't seen the Evolved Bird. I have no idea what an Evolved Bird is. I have, however, now discovered, in my own playings of the games, what Evolved Axes, Evolved Whips, Evolved Garlic, and Evolved Knives do. Those are the ones. Evolved Knives are pretty cool. That was the first character that I beat the game on, or rather, got to 30 minutes with. But I haven't seen the Evolved Bird. I have no idea what that's going to do. Garlic is crazy. Also the axes, because all of a sudden you're hurling giant scythes everywhere. But yeah, Garlic plus Bible is stupidly powerful. It's basically a Nyan bird. It shoots rainbows. I'm sold. Sold. That lag out the whole game. Even more sold. This sounds fantastic. Truly. Alright, well that's what we're going to have to try and get then. Should we play a little bit of Vampire Survival later on, which actually is very much on the cards. There's so many good roguelites out at the moment. Have you played this much, Splat? Rogue Tower? An absolute gem of a tower defense game. It is on my list for tomorrow. Thank goodness, because it definitely... I strongly suspect you'll enjoy it. There is so much replayability in this. Like, even above regular tower defense, and a large part of it is the kind of random build. So, for example, we've set up our towers right now. We've given them a way to target, but everything right now is fairly bog standard at the beginning. You click on each tile to expand it out, and there's a very build-your-own-dungeon kind of feel, which I love. Like, the aesthetics and just the feel of this mechanic is so much up my street. I'm going to have this one prioritize least armor, least shield, and then just go for whomever. This one, though, I want to go for... let's go with fastest, least health, I think. There we go. But the other big thing that really makes this stand out, it's kind of like a deck builder, in that... yeah, I know, we're already starting out better than my recent First Taste video, which had, like, no towns for ages. Each of these towns basically will give you the wave numbers worth of gold multiplied by the number of towers you have. So if you've got no towers around it, it'll give you nothing. But, for example, we're going into wave 3, so this is going to give us 6 gold. This is something that we can, if we draw the right card, build a mine around, which will allow us to increase the health of our tower and heal it over time. Though our tower now does have the capacity to heal itself a little bit regardless. I would like this one to actually go for most armor, most health. So it'll soften things up for my towers back here. But should we survive this wave, and honestly, there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to survive this wave, Then we're going to need to choose our first card, which will, much like playing like Slay the Spire or other similar games, it will define how we're going to build moving forward. Right, let's see. Repair and increases tower health. Honestly, none of these are very good, but this is the better one of the options we've got. So we're going to grab this card. Based on the meta progression unlocks you get, right now I'm getting one more card choice. And later on, we'll be able to choose to have these card choices more frequently. So it starts off at every 3 rounds or every 3 waves. Then it moves down to every 2. And then finally, you can get a choice every single wave. Brithnoth says 2 things. 1, which I'm not sure is enough to warrant this on its own. There are 45 waves. Yes, I mentioned that earlier. At least on single. And 2, have all your mortars target the same guys. Wanda does it to great success, as they naturally space themselves out, and the bonus blast radius allows even misses to hit. I would actually counter that. I tend to have my mortars spread themselves out a little bit, equally to great effect. You don't really want to overkill. Mortars do enormous damage. I mean, that makes more sense later on, and especially against extremely high target enemies, but right now that would be an awful move. You don't want to overkill because you're wasting economy on a tower that fires so infrequently. You want those shells to hit different targets, to soften them all up for the much faster firing ballistas to mop up the survivors. Yeah, it's a tower defense card game, effectively. Right, we're going to select this one. Also, chat, how is the music during the waves? It seemed like it might have been a little bit loud. But if we pop down this mine right now, I'm going to place down... Now, these ones don't get more expensive, which is actually kind of cool. So there we go. Our tower now has 3 hit points, but also each one of these has a 5% chance every wave of repairing 1 damage, which is very, very good. We'll place down some ballistas around here. Now, I generally don't go out of my way to surround every single house, because later on, you're going to be killing so many minions that the tiny trickle of gold you get from houses, it might never pay back the amount of money that you invested in the turrets to surround it. But if the house is along the path, well, I want to put towers there anyway, so it makes sense. So, with this, what do we want to prioritize? I'm going to say slowest. Just aim for the slowest, and I'm going to plop down another one as well. This one I'm going to have aim for the fastest, and this way I spread out their damage type. I am still going to have fastest, least health, and this one also slowest, least health. So that they try to, take them out if they can. The limited waves, yeah, there's level 45, then that wraps up, jumps back. At least, as far as I'm aware, like I've not seen what it might be for the double defense or triple defense. Basically, in those modes, you have more paths leading directly to the tower, so you have to defend more aggressively. I don't know if later on you get better, like you unlock some sort of different game mode. I really don't know. Oh, and more health for the tower. This is actually already looking particularly good. Currently, there's no difference in speed, so they're all more or less targeting the same people. Let's pop you there. I would like you to go for most health, most armor, most shield. So they're going to spread out their damage significantly. At this point, another ballista over here, because we are... Oh, actually, we're going up there, but I didn't have the cash from the ballista yet. Yeah, it took it so long to get any other type of weapon in the extended first taste. In the first one, we had mortars pretty quickly. But the extended first taste, yeah, we just did not. It was rough. It was ultra rough. Actually, that was genuinely quite difficult. The height of the towers will give us extra damage based on the height. So this was a level 3 elevation, so we got a bonus 3 damage, and that's base damage, which is then multiplied by the hit point, because all enemies effectively have 3 hit point pools: shield, armor, health, in that order. to do any damage to armor, you've got to get rid of their shield. To do any damage to health, both armor and shield have to be gone. Every tower has a different natural multiplier to its base damage. So this is doing 130 damage only to health. Against armor, it's only doing 65 damage. Against shield, it's doing 78. Now, you can manually upgrade them, and later on you should, because that will definitely help you get through the waves. But they will also naturally upgrade themselves based on what they attack. If a tower is mostly attacking armored foes, it will passively level up its ability to do damage to armor. It's really, really good. The planned release date is January 28th. This is an absolute sleeper hit. Like, in my opinion, this is such a solid game, and I think the developer was very much caught off guard by how much people, the content creators, enjoyed it. Like, it has generated an awful lot of interest. Fun fact, the dev moved it up from early February because of the positive reception. Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that. That's actually pretty amazing. That is pretty amazing. Right. Now, we've got a bit more money that we need. I would love to put something there. We'll see what we can do. Also, another one down here would be fine as well, since it would, it's on the path that we want anyway. There we go. Now, they should start... again, they're all moving at the same speed. Later on, should we get the ability to have our towers do slowing damage, then having differences between fast and slow will make a lot more difference early on. But later on, you will get enemies who move naturally at different paces. So this is a little bit rough. Okay, well, we're going to lose 3 points. But that's fine, because our mines will lift it up. Ah, mortars. Thank goodness. Ah, really? We're going to go with mortars because mortars are crazy good at long range at dealing armor damage. But frost bolts would have so liked that. So liked that. Is the game available? It is available on the 28th. So basically in a day. Yeah. The leak early on is a pain. But hopefully the mines will do their work. Alright, we're going to need to expand, and no, we didn't get a level. Even though the tower naturally has a 33% chance of healing anyway. Right. I'm going to pop this mortar by the house. There we go. And I'm going to have you target most armor, most health, and the slowest. There we go. Nice big blast there. Very good. They just got boosted because they're like, get to the tower! And that little yellow bar above their names is their boost meter. It's their haste. And there we are. Mischief managed. Okay. Well, honestly, that one's going to be an amazing location because it's so close to so many other sorry, it's so close to this lane that we're going to be able to do double duty on this, so I'm going to expand out there. That is beautiful. We've got some nice elevations to pop turrets on. Sure, I'm going to pop one there. Have you go for fastest, most armor, least health. Now, these are not orders. Again, they basically all they sum up the score of a mob based on all three of those things, and they do that for every single enemy within their group, and then pick the one with the highest score. So don't think of it as pure priority system. Pop down another turret here. I would like you to go for fastest, least health. Managed to kill her in time. Good, good, good. I would like to get another mortar, but you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's continue getting double work out of this ballista. Still haven't been lucky with any of the hit points. The tower's natural ability to heal becomes more pronounced. It's got between a 0 and a 33% chance of healing based on how damaged it is. So we're actually still fairly high right now, so it's unlikely that's going to proc. But the chance from the mines will hopefully get involved soon. I'm going to save this up for another mortar, though. Come on. There we are. Very nice. That one is going to get through. There's nothing we can do about that one. No, that's fine. And come on. I want another mortar. There we go. I'm not going to have my ballistas use mana, but getting +5 range on mortars is huge. Absolutely enormously great. Let's go ahead and pop you there. Oh my lord. Pretty much wherever we expand now is still going to be within range of this mortar. Most armor, most health. There we go. For now, let's expand out in this direction. There we go. Let's wear down that armor while we can, please. And indeed, thank you. We'll cluster some mortars together there. Problem with some of these enemies is they do actually... I didn't show you the monster manual before we started the run. Remind me after this run, chat, and I'll bring the monster manual up. Because some units have special abilities. Let's see how it goes down here. We've got enough for another ballista. Let's go for slowest here. Least health, please. There we are. Let's make sure we thin them out. There we go. Perfect. Anyone else alive? No. Good, 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 good. This is glorious. Now, I'm actually wondering if this game has a... kind of generates the map first, but then allows you to uncover it slowly as you move. When it says a ballista has a 5% freeze, is that 5% chance, or do they do 5% of their damage in freeze time? They do 5% of their damage in freeze time. But they do not lose damage, so they're doing now 105% damage. It's just 5% of that is only in freeze. So if you've got a ballista that does, like, it does its base damage, but has 25% burn, it's also adding 25% of its base damage as a burn dot on the enemy, not replacing 25% of its regular damage, as far as I understand. That is very much anecdotal. It's just from what I've observed. Right. I'm going to expand out there. Okay, so that's naturally avoiding the curve. Come on, we need 350. Quite badly, actually. Plonk. Very nice. Let's get some more of this going. Thank you. I wouldn't mind getting the mortar over there. Honestly, I'm going to pop one down here. Just make use of this house. Go for least shield, least armor, least health. Get rid of them if you can. There we go. Plop. Nice. I want to try and leave some of this open for some of the stronger weapons we might get later on. Let's expand out in that direction. Okay, well, we've got a decent amount here. I'm liking it. I am liking it. If I'd made this, I'd have made it build as the game goes on. How do you mean? Much cheaper that way. It's not all generated ahead, at least not the graves and other special things. Oh, okay, that's cool. And that means the way you build, like, knowing that this was going in this direction, I should have gone for this one first, because that creates the possibility that I might have been able to build a path around and thus dead-ended this one, which would have been kind of cool. That being said, we don't really want the dead end to happen too close by. In fact, I've got to be honest, dead ending is possibly a kind of a pitfall. It doesn't actually give you anything that I've seen so far, but I am not entirely certain about that. Right, we've got plenty of cash now, so let's pop some mortars down. Once again, want the most armor. This time, though, I want the least health. And then progress. And what do we got? Mortars gain 1 damage to armor. Uses mana to electrify nearby enemies. I mean, I could pick this up, but it would be a dead choice until I had a means of gaining mana. But that's going to be true either way. We're going to get the Tesla coil. And I'm just going to have to wait for a mana generating building. Yeah, we're going to grab the Tesla coil. Let's get another mortar. We'll place this around here, right there. I'm going to go for, once again, most armor, but then fastest. Theoretically, a path could loop if there was a portal in the middle of it. See, this is the thing, is I don't know. Can paths join up? I've not seen it happen, but that's not necessarily a indication that that doesn't happen. So this range is 15, this range is 16.5, so it is still the same range bonus no matter what. There we are, 3 mortars away. Pew, pew, pew. We will add another ballista tower down here as well, I think. Go. I would like you to go for most shield, most armor. So that ballista is specifically going to be trying to target the difficult to kill enemies. But the gauntlet down here is fairly effective, at least. Oh, very nice shot there from these. Very nice. They only just got it, because you've got to remember that the shell can fall outside this area. It's just that this is the area in which it will target something. So it'll only consider enemies within this ring as targets for its targeting algorithm. But the firing solution, based on how fast it's moving, might require the shell to land somewhere down here in order to take it out, which is quite cool. Your tower placement hurts my soul. Then leave. Pretty much, I'm not doing this to hurt you. If your psyche is so fragile that watching me play a game in a way that you don't like is causing you pain, then I don't think that life is very safe for you. You should probably lock yourself in a cupboard under the stairs. My lord. Right, let's see. I mean, I hope you stay, but at the same time, you've got to understand that when someone says, oh, seeing you just play this game and have fun, it hurts me. It's like, yikes. You need to be put in some safety gear and just live your life in a bubble. Right, let's go for fastest. Well, actually, no. Let's not put this one there. That doesn't really make that much sense. Let me focus it elsewhere. Got most of our stuff down here. This is one of the best places for me to be putting any turrets because it's doing attacks on the way up and the way back down. So this is definitely the best place for us to be. Pretty sure he left. Well, I mean, you know, that's what you get. I hope people don't want to leave, but if you're watching a game and it's hurting you, why would you inflict pain on yourself? I mean, that kind of speaks of some pretty deep-seated issues. Let's grab this one. That seems like a pretty good area there. Targeting priority, most armor, and let's go for most shield there. And we're going to pop a ballista down here just to kind of benefit from that house. Have I been drinking the dark brew? I may have been drinking a little bit of it when I was playing survival cannibalism eat your friend simulator. Yes, possibly. Most health, least shield, and least armor, I think. Oh, the typical way that I play is I try to have some sort of meaty way of grinding them down and then let them get cleaned up by faster firing units later on. That's usually how I go with it. Whether that's the best way of doing it, who could say, but... Yeah, the map is giving me an amazing choke point here, yeah. Absolutely. Aavak, your choices aren't bad, just different. Yeah, that's the way I like to think about it. I mean, if we all played the game in the optimal way, I mean, very quickly, like if categorically every content creator played the game in the optimal way, I think it would probably wreck a bunch of people who think they're good at the game, but when faced with the actual best possible solution, would realize how awful they are. But B, it would be really boring. Like if you had an AI play a game like this, you'd probably very quickly work out that, yeah, almost everyone you think is good at games is actually rubbish. Legitimately bad. Yeah, you know, celebrate the differences. Right, I want to channel more mortars down here. I'm not, well, like, about the only tower worth putting in there is a mortar, but I really like the bonus height. I really do. But yeah, like I said, you know, I don't ever want someone to leave, but I also don't want to hurt anyone. And if my game style hurts people, I'm very much one of those people that's like, why would I willingly do something that is unpleasant? Oh yeah, for day 2, absolutely. That is actually something I often have to mention and kind of warn people. They're like, oh, well, you know, I've got this kind of computer. It's a bit old, but do you think this game would run? I'm like, I have no idea. The hardware that I play my games on, because this is literally my job, you know. A plumber would have a van, would have a bunch of expensive tools. A carpenter, likewise. A streamer has a very, very expensive computer, typically. And so in terms of, you know, being able to give you advice on whether a game would run well or not, I can't. Like, I just straight up don't know. I think we're going to pop a mortar down here. This one, though, is going to aim for the least health. That's all it's there to do. Just try and kill the things that are moving fast. We've got nothing to slow Oogie down, though. By now, I've usually been lucky enough to get, like, slowing effects on my ballistas. And I am now seeing just how much that bloody matters to me, because Oogie is going to reach the tower, and if Oogie does, we lose. Straight up. No, GG, no re. It literally doesn't matter what you attack right now. Just everything attack it. I think we've definitely lost this one. But yeah, if Oogie gets there, each one of those pips is 10,000 health. Is that a named boss? Oogie, yes. Oogie the Ogre, I guess. I don't know. But we got 105 XP. We had... I mean, ultimately, this is actually one of the things I like about this. Is you will have some games, and it's like Slay the Spire. Sometimes you will just... You won't get off the first level of the tower. Because you just didn't get the right cards. It's so replayable because of that. Sometimes you will get an incredibly good synergy with the cards you've got. But the more cards you unlock, and we've got a lot unlocked, the more chance you'll never get the right cards to make your deck work. We will go to the monster manual in just a moment, though. First, I'm going to unlock card draw 2, because that greatly increases the chance of me getting the right card. And then I'm going to unlock more gold. There we go. Right, let's have a look at the monster manual. Boom. Okay. Oh, yeah. I'll be back to the monster manual. Don't worry. This tech tree is vast. And just so you know, I have unlocked one of the end game weapons. Most of the mid-game weapons I have not touched. I have fleshed out some of the upgrade cards that we might get for the early game weapons, and I've unlocked a couple of passive bonuses. But there is an awful lot to this game. Any of the blue cards are passive powers that are constantly in effect. Well, that being said, actually, I think some of them... I think some of them actually unlock other cards as well. But these passive effects linger no matter what. But I think you might actually end up being able to draw cards as a consequence of having unlocked that passive, which are linked to that passive and just make it stronger. For example, sorcery would just give us a passive +1 mana per second. But I'm fairly certain that if I were to unlock this, then I would occasionally get the option to pick a higher level sorcery card, which would increase it to like level, like 4 mana a second, or 3 mana a second, or something along those lines. But anyway, monster manual time. So these are the monsters that are in the game. Most of them we have not seen. They kind of come out in, well, I think it's either the wave you're on. It's probably the wave rather than distance from your tower, but it might be some function of that. So in the beginning, we're mostly fighting goblin, orcs, armored, orcs, blah, trolls, so on and so forth. Then in the second part, where we start to see more shields, we'll start fighting the undead. Then down here, you will start fighting the demons, I think they were. And then down here, it's just like, you know, eldritch horrors from somewhere very, very, very unpleasant, let's say. They have evolved into quite robust fighters. One must wonder what kind of terrible land they hail from. That's part of the fun of this style of game. You can't just pick a build. You have to adapt to what you draw. No, exactly, Jeep Creeper. That's what I feel. That I was trying to explain in my first taste video. I hope I conveyed it well enough. But one of the strongest points that this game has, when compared to other contemporaries within the tower defense or roguelike genres, is this replayability that is born of the fact that A, the path is random, but B, the cards you get are random. You can't just rely on the same playstyle every time. Like, loads of people in chat is like, oh, you should just build loads of mortars. I've seen other streamers do that, and it's worked to great effect. I mean, in my extended first taste, I never got the chance. Mortar never came up for me, and that's when I had less card options to pick from. In the end, I had ballistas and radar stations. That was it, which is really, really good. Right, so we've got goblins. They pose very little threat. They're super easy to kill. They've only got 100 health. Pretty much all of our ballistas can one-shot a goblin. Orc, most of our ballistas will take 3 hits to kill an orc. Armoured goblins are the elite variants of goblin kind. They wear considerable amounts of armour, at least for a goblin anyways. They've got 200 armour. This gives them far more durability at the sacrifice of speed. These elite goblins enter battle by letting out their vicious cry, which fortifies the hearts of nearby allies, which makes nearby allies take a flat 5 less damage. It actually might be flat 5 base damage down, which would be effectively, on a ballista, halve its damage output, which is huge. Because all towers have a base damage output, and then it's multiplied by how good they are against the 3 different hit points pools that orcs might have. They are stronger and faster. An orc can sprint very fast, but only for a short period. That's why these orcs gain haste. When an orc gets close enough to the tower, they will cry out, and everyone around them gains haste and spirit. Trolls. Trolls are very large and slow. They have a considerable amount of girth to chip away at making them resilient foes. Worse yet, their bodies possess the ability to regenerate at incredible speeds. 25 damage a second regeneration is actually quite nasty. Armored orc. The strongest and most brutal orcs encase themselves in as much armor as they can endure. This makes them far more durable than an ordinary orc. At the cost of speed, these orcs reserve their energy to survive the final stretch of the attack. When armored orcs get within sight of the tower, they let out a menacing call to arms, fortifying all those around them. Then we got the battering ram. Covered in wet hides and constructed of strong wood, battering rams pose a great threat to the tower. They are slow and lumbering, but extremely armoured. If they reach the tower, destroy the tower. If they reach the tower... Oh, undestroyed. Sorry, my reading comprehension is awful. The tower will suffer a great deal of damage. Additionally, upon the destruction of a ram, its crew will abandon it and take a run for the tower themselves. Then we got zombies. Even the slow advance of time will call death. We call death does not ail these undead, abominable walking corpses. Zombies are slow but incredibly resilient. Health 2,000 versus 300. 4,000 shield versus 1,500 armor on the battering ram. Their bodies are animated by strange magic, making their destruction more difficult than merely disposing of their corporeal form. Bats are more of a nuisance than a threat, however their poisonous bite makes them a threat. Okay. They are not very resilient, but they are very small and fly very fast. Not very resilient, 2,000 health, but 3.6 speed is actually kind of bonkers. That is genuinely high. And then ghosts. Lacking any physical form, these undead spirits are fast and difficult to kill with conventional attacks. When the threads of magic which trap them in this world are threatened, they will spook and make a mad dash to the tower. So as they get close to death, they suddenly speed up. Yeah, it's a huge difficult jump, yeah. Absolutely. It's funny you mention Returnal, Will Dance. I'm looking over. I still haven't installed my PS5. Perhaps I should do that this weekend, and we should check out Returnal. I think so. I think that might be the plan, assuming I'm not completely absorbed by the fun of playing this or Vampire Survivors. Alright, returning to the main menu. Now that you all know, are there any questions that anyone would like to ask before we jump into the next game? Ragnarok, I'm quiet because your voice is so enthralling. Oh, no, well, thank you. My lord, it'll make me blush. Aavak, mind giving me several hundred USD so I can get a PS5 and Horizon Forbidden West? I mean, you know, it wouldn't be the first time that I bought someone a PlayStation just because they've been a good friend for long enough. There was that time when I bought Sleepy Joe PS4 Pro as like an ultra early Christmas present. We were like in June or something, because he let slip in one of his streams that he'd gotten a key for a game, but he didn't have a PS4 to play it on. And I was like, you know, I've known you for years. Here you go. No, bearing in mind, though, I'm not sure I can believe Bilal, because I was trying to give him money for his birthday, and he wouldn't tell me what his PayPal was. I think he's just a tease. Rude. Can the mobs block each other? No, they'll just pass straight through them. You want Bloodborne? I mean, now you're speaking my language. That is basically my guilty pleasure game. It's where I go to restore my zen. Any upgrades available? No, we've spent all of our experience for now. But yeah, that's one of the big things. Understand that spamming anything in this game is hard, because the price goes up for each successive item you build. Right, let's play. Chat. Okay, so this one's going to be a very quick, I'm just going to eyeball it. Thumbs up for single defense. Wave for double defense. Thumbs down for triple defense. Go. Boom, just spam mortars. If only we always had mortars, but alas. Looks like there are more double defense, so let's go.